Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Live from inside Union Station at Minute Maid Park, it's the deciding game of this three-game series. The visiting Chicago Cubs take on the home team Houston Astros, and the Astros have won all three previous series from the Cubs this season. Good afternoon, everybody. Day baseball for Bill Brown, Jim DeShays, and you. The Astros winning last night 6-1 with their best inning of the season, JD.
Yeah, Brett Myers was outstanding last night, and then the big explosion. Lance Berkman hit a grand slam to cap it all off. Big win for the Astros, and now they face the Chicago Cubs today with a chance to win yet another series from Chicago. Bud Norris takes the hill up against Randy Wells, so they'll be looking to whip Wells on Wednesday, Brownie.
Let's find out more about that.
Wednesday has become Wednesday for the Astros. Since the first week in May, Houston has 11 straight wins on Hump Day. At home, on the road, one-run games, blowouts, come from behind, and extra innings. Wednesday has become guaranteed win day. The Astros go for the series win over the Cubs, and a dozen Wednesday wins in a row. Next on Fox Sports Houston.
Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. By Jack in the Box and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Lincoln Mercury dealers and the 2010 MKS. Technologically breathtaking. Reach higher with the 2010 Lincoln MKS. A hazy day outside. There could be some rain scattered throughout the area. Inside, everybody ready for Game 3 of this homestand, and the Astros will be here, or Game 6 of this homestand, rather. The Astros will be here for the Milwaukee Brewers open weekend. Here's the starting lineup now for Lou Piniella. Ryan Theriot at second, Starlin Castro shortstop, Tyler Coleman center field, Aramis Ramirez third, Xavier Nady left field, Kosuke Fukudome right, Jeff Baker first base, Coy Hill catcher, Randy Wells pitcher. And Bud Norris trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Comes out with a 2-7 record, a 6.08 ERA. Got a no decision last time out against Cincinnati on Thursday. First pitch, strike one to Ryan Theriot. Theriot at 281 has 1 homer, has 21 runs batted in.
And stuff has not been an issue for Bud Norris this year. Comes out of that bullpen firing pellets. Command has been an issue, and just falling prey to the big inning. Still looking for a win over somebody other than the St. Louis Cardinals this year.
He's only faced the Cubs once in his career. That was in his major league debut in relief last year with no decisions and a 3.08 ERA for 3 innings. Going ball 1. He has been terrific in retiring the leadoff man. In all of his games, the leadoff hitters have hit 131 against him for his career. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Theriot. Theriot hit a homer in the opener of this series Monday night. And Ryan is 2 for 7 in this series. On the ground and past a diving second baseman Anderson Hernandez into center field for a Theriot leadoff single.
And Bud working on trying to get that sinker to move down as opposed to just have run. And he's thrown a couple good sinkers here to Theriot. And this time Theriot just does a nice job of keeping his hands inside and hitting that ball right up back up the middle. Not a bad pitch, though. If he stays there, he'll be fine. Let's take a look at the scouting report on Bud Norris. It's brought to you by Suzuki. Home has not been sweet for Bud. 0-4, 7-13 here at Minute Maid Park. As Brownie mentioned, first career start against the Cubs. His strikeout rate, if he had enough innings to qualify, would be the 3rd best in the league. So he can get you to swing and miss, no doubt about that.
Castro on a 7-game hitting streak, looks at strike one, starting at 308 with 3 homers, has 31 runs batted in, and he's hit 273 against Houston.
Strikeouts per 9 innings. Only Giovanni Gallardo and Clayton Kershaw with a better mark than Bud.
Castro, during his 7-game hitting streak, has 14 hits. No balls, 2 strikes. He is 3 for 9 in this series. Since his big league debut May 7th in Cincinnati, when he drove in 6 runs, he's played in all but 1 of the Cubs' 72 games. Cubs go on to Colorado. They have an off day tomorrow. Carlos Zambrano due to rejoin them for the weekend series with the Rockies. Up the middle, Anderson Hernandez doesn't field it. It trickles out into center field. And now it's Theriot to second, Castro to first, nobody out.
Well, boy, that's frustrating for Bud. This is such an easy double play ball. And Anderson Hernandez, who is a very good defender, just clanks it. Maybe the umpire screened him a little bit. I'm guessing that probably upset his timing a little bit, but still, play's got to be made.
Now a full-fledged jam with Tyler Colvin batting, 2 on, nobody out. Colvin on a 5-game hitting streak, one of the top rookies in the National League, leads all rookies with 16 homers. He has 37 driven in with a 265 average.
First time in the 3-hole, Lou Piniella taking advantage of the day game today, off day tomorrow to rest some of his guys. Derek Lee, Marlon Byrd, Alfonso Soriano, Giovanni Soto, all on the bench today for Lou.
Colvin takes that wide one, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to Tyler. Good-looking young player from Clemson. He hit leadoff homers in consecutive games Friday and Saturday. And now getting the call in center field. He can play all 3 outfield positions and first base as well. Soriano among those on the bench. Colvin last night had a homer and a double. The count is 3-0 to Tyler.
Carapazza, the home plate umpire. That ball must have just been off that outside edge. This kid's he got 16 home runs, only 37 RBIs. He's been hitting at the top of the order. I haven't had too many chances like this with a couple of men on base.
4-pitch walk. Bases loaded, nobody out. Aramis Ramirez.
Let's take a look at the Astros defensively here this afternoon. Outfield stays the same. Bourne and Pence. Infield pretty much the same, but Anderson Hernandez getting his first start at second base here in 2010. As I mentioned, typically a very good defender, but his bobble a big part of the uprising here for the Cubs in the first. They've got the bases juiced, nobody out. Still shaking his head. So you have to turn the page. It's not easy to do.
Brad Mills Club got the Big Bang Theory going last night with 6 runs to win it 6-1. All those runs scoring in the 7th inning. Bud Norris, 88 pitches, no decision against the Reds. Walked 3 in his 6 innings and fanned 5. He had some blister problems, which he says surface about once every 5 games. Now Ramirez. Fly ball to right, backs up Hunter Pence. Runner tagging at third will come home. Terrio, and from second to third, Castro. 1-0 Cubs. Ramirez sacrifice fly. RBI number 48.
All right, well, if you're Bud, you're just looking for outs here. Try to minimize the damage, get outs. Let that fly ball off the bat of Ramirez, who's been really good in the month of July. So that's a trade I think if I'm Bud Norris, I'm willing to accept to get that out for that run. Now if he can get Nady to hit the ball to short. A little 6-4-3 double play and get out of Dodge.
229 for Nady, 4 homers. He's driven in 19. Nady takes it and it's ball 1 with Fukudome on deck. Astros are 7-4 against the Cubs this season, 3-2 here at Minute Maid Park. Nady 1 for 1 in this series. He looks at a strike, and that evens the count at 1-1. Cubs are 11th in runs scored in the National League. Their record since the All-Star break is 7-5. Golden drawing a throw. Nady has only 5 hits in his last 41 at bats for a 122 average in 20 games. Good movement on the heater makes it 1 ball 2 strikes now for Bud Norris.
And Nady's earned a reputation of being a pretty good fastball hitter, but he's well behind this one.
First game underway in the majors. A couple of other afternoons games just starting. Minnesota, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee. Upstairs to Nady, and it's 2 balls 2 strikes. Brett Myers really saved the bullpen last night with a complete game 4 hitter. Matt Lindstrom was warming up the end, but Myers had a strong flourish, striking out the last 3 batters to give him 12 strikeouts, equaling his career high. So the bullpen ready to go for this Wednesday afternoon contest. A day off coming tomorrow, as Myers has really helped the cause there with that strong game last night.
Yeah, he was very impressive. And he had to be for the most part because Ted Lilly was out there getting it done as well.
Nady struck out, reaching for a wide one. 2 outs.
Worked over Nady pretty good. 95-mile-an-hour heaters, and then a good hard slider dipping out of the zone.
Bud Norris's last win came at St. Louis on May 13th. He had a spot on the disabled list for a while in there too. Now Kosuke Fukudome, 252 with 8 homers, has 26 driven in. 0 for 1 in this series.
But 0-2 with an ERA, up over 5 since coming off the disabled list. Showing a nice touch there, dropping a little changeup in there for strike 1. It's been kind of a bumpy ride for him. A couple good ones, a couple not so good. He pitched a dandy at San Diego at the beginning of this month. 7 innings of shutout ball. And no decision. Astros got beat 1-0.
It's 1-1 for Norris. 25-year-old Californian. Yeah, that was a strong effort for him back on July 3rd against Kevin Correa. 7 shutout frames, but a no decision. He was on the DL with biceps tendonitis for about a month. Castro stops it. It's 2 balls and a strike to Fukudome.
I'm not saying Fukudome won't chase, but he's a pretty disciplined hitter. So Nady is the kind of guy who will expand, but Fukudome, he's just going to swing at pitches in the strike zone. Every now and then against a righty, he'll swing at that back foot slider.
Now 3-1 to Fukudome, who's walked 38 times this year. 22 pitches here for Bud Norris. He is stacked in the rotation in between Brett Myers and Roy Oswalt. Roy to go Friday night against the Brewers. And it's 3-2 now to Fukudome. Tyler Colvin ready to move from first base. Lance Berkman backs up, play behind him. The runner going, it's fouled out of play. Fukudome is in his 3rd year with the Cubs after 9 years with the Chunichi Dragons in Japan. Signed a 4-year deal with Chicago, and his playing time has been a lot less lately. Colvin doing well in the outfield. Marlon Byrd resting today has been a real staple in center field this year. Ball 4 loads the sacks. Second walk of the game for Bud Norris, and now it's Baker coming up.
Actually been better against left-handed hitters than righties this year, but in this inning he's walked the 2 lefties he's faced. Talked about Fukudome being a very patient hitter, so no surprise to see him work the count full and ultimately draw the walk.
Jeff Baker, 250 with the bases loaded, is 0 for 3 with 3 men on this season. First started first base this year for Baker. He's played other positions well. And he fouls it for strike 1. He's made 16 starts at third base, 13 at second, and 1 in right field.
Generally, you don't think you can lose a ball game in the first inning, but the way Randy Wells has been pitching lately, he's been lights out. This is a big confrontation here.
I bet it is. Baker looks at the slider, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Baker is just 2 for 39 against right-handed pitchers. An 0.51 average. Started a game July 19th against the Astros, going 1 for 4. In Chicago last week, a double. Fouls it away, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count with Coy Hill on deck.
In front of that slider, hit it right off the end of the bat.
Cubs have a winning record at Minute Maid Park, 44 and 43 since they started coming here in 2000. And Norris strikes out Baker to end a troublesome first inning in which the Cubs get an unearned run on 1 hit with 1 error. They lead 3, and it's Chicago 1, Houston coming up. Brad Mills today. Michael Bourne in center field. Angel Sanchez at shortstop. Lance Berkman, who hit his 5th career regular season grand slam, at first base. Hunter Pence in right field. Carlos Lee in left. Chris Johnson at third. Jason Castro the catcher. Anderson Hernandez at second. Bud Norris the pitcher.
Counter report brought to you by Suzuki on right-hander Randy Wells. We'll show you a red-hot pitcher. 2-1, $1.26 this month. 4.61 ERA on the road this year. He's made 4 starts against the Astros in his career with good results. 2-1, 2.08 fastball, slider, changeup.
Michael Bourne looks at ball 1 at 90. 253 for Michael. 1 homer, 24 driven in. Showing Bud. He takes that pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Michael with a 327 on base average to go with those numbers.
2 options here. 2 balls, no strikes. Taking it all the way or hook one into the right field corner. He's going to take.
Now 3-0.
He's going to take 1, maybe even 2.
Wells has walked 33 in 119 in the 3rd innings. He delivers strike 1 to Bourne. Michael 5 for 18 on this homestand. Wells defeated the Cardinals with 7 shutout innings and 111 pitches Friday.
126 ERA for the month of July, 5th best in the league.
Set a fast pace, but he walked Michael Bourne, a fast base runner who leads the league in steals.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively. It's a different look. It's like a line change in the outfield. Nady Colvin, Fukudome out there. With Soriano and Bird resting. Jeff Baker gets it started first for Derek Lee, who's celebrating a birthday. Coy Hill back behind the dish. Castro, the shortstop, has had his problems defensively.
Angel Sanchez put down a squeeze bunt last night, a safety squeeze. 297, 5 runs batted in. He was hitless in the game. That snapped his 8-game hitting streak, a career high for Angel. Throw goes over to first. Wells has made 5 errors this year, most of them throwing errors. Bourne's 31 of 39 in steals. Coy Hill has thrown out 3 of 25. And the Astros against the Cubs have 11 steals in 13 attempts this year. Strike to Sanchez. He's hit 340 in his last 14 games. Starting now at shortstop for the 16th time in the last 18 games.
Play him as an off-field hitter. Fukudome towards the line a little bit in right field. Colvin shading towards right center.
Bud Norris did well to escape that first inning with only 1 run scoring, getting out of bases loaded trouble. Now the Astros look for early runs against Wells. Little chop to third. Throw to second in time by Ramos Ramirez to Ryan Theriot to force the speedy Bourne 1 out.
A good play there by Ramos Ramirez. Obviously a little bit of risk in taking that shot, but he felt like he had time to get it done, and he did, taking the speed of Michael Bourne out of the equation and nailing that lead runner. He waits back for 1 more hop. He's not going to have that option.
Lance Berkman unloaded his 5th grand slam last night, first since August of 08. And it was home run number 13 of the year for him. He has 49 runs batted in, a 240 average. He's hit 303 against the Cubs. Big hole through the left side of the infield. Now it's time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, showing you Lance around on this under passionate pitch.
Andrew has been pounding fastballs in on him, but they are off the plate. So Lance up there, 2 balls, no strikes. Got a heater to his liking and smoked it. It's kind of what clubs have been doing with Lance. Just pounding in with hard stuff. A couple more swings like that, and they'll have to change their thinking.
Now Wells misses with that one, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Berkman in his last 17 games has driven in 14 runs. He's also walked 16 times. And even when he's not On a surge with batting average. He's drawing his walks normally. In the top 10 in the league in walking. Castro, the shortstop, shades up the middle. Now 3-1. Wells has 17 major league wins and 17 losses. 3.41 ERA for the converted catcher.
A lot of these guys start at a different position until they see the light and realize that pitching is what it's all about. Now, let me see, whether there's 30 major league teams, most clubs carry 12 pitchers. Most clubs carry 2 catchers. So do the math. You get a lot better chance of making it to the big leagues if you're a pitcher. True.
Hunter Pence is next. The club high 50 runs batted in. He has 15 bombs and a .270 batting average. A chance to do some first inning damage here on a 5-game hitting streak. 9 for 22 in the last 5 for Hunter. And he fouls it for strike 1. Hunter's driven in runs in 6 of his last 8 games. Here at Minute Maid Park this month of July, he's hit .405.
What's that thing? I hate Pence.
How good is your aim with your bat or something like that?
Oh.
But can he hit that sign?
Oh. Where are they?
Upper deck? You're kidding me, kids. Give the guy a chance. Oh, no.
Behind the cover dugout.
Yeah. Way over there. They must have thought they were sitting in the outfield when they came to the ballpark today. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, they want a bat. Okay. Minnesota got 3 in the top of the first at Kansas City. Delman Young hit his 14th homer. Well, it goes to center instead. A long way to center. Colvin back with the catch on the warning track. Here's the tag. Both runners moving up. On a long out number 2. Sanchez to third, Berkman to second on Pence's deep drive to center.
Colvin's first couple of steps straight across, and then he had to belly out to make that play. Take a look at this at bat pitch by pitch here. Randy Wells, the right-hander, versus Hunter Pence. Good slider on the outside edge, fouled off for strike 1. Staying out there with a sinker. Fastball middle in, good swing by Hunter. A home run in a lot of ballparks, but not this one.
Instead, a fly ball, and Carlos Lee has runners at second and third. Bouncing one to first. And hop. Baker stayed with it. Tossed to Wells for the third out. No runs, no hits. 2 men left. 1-0 Cubs after 1. the state of Texas. If you would like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to Youth League baseball programs, visit www.ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Lots of youngsters here today. We saw some of them touring around here before the game today. And they keep together with those multicolored T-shirts. Good way of keeping that group together.
Orange caps handed out today.
Bud Norris trails 1-0. There you see those orange caps. Coy Hill's in the box, taking ball 1, inning number 2 underway with a 196 hitter with 8 runs batted in. Ivane Soto fouled the ball off his foot Monday night. Been sidelined. Hill did the catching last night. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coy 0 for 4 in this series. This is his 29th start of the year.
For his last 17.
1-2 to the former Wichita Stater, a switch hitter. This was his 3rd opening day roster. Spent his share of time in the minor leagues. He started on opening day in 2006 for the Arizona Diamondbacks, in fact. Sliders in tight. The appeal goes to 3rd. Check swing call by Jerry Davis, the crew chief. 2-2.
One of the things they're looking for out of Bud Norris is just to be a little bit more efficient. Finish hitters off earlier in counts. And pitch a little deeper into games. Save that bullpen.
He gets a swing from Hill for a strikeout, number 3.
Off-speed pitch, and watch the great movement. Well placed. 3rd punch out for Bud.
He's 3rd among starters in strikeouts per 9 innings. Here's strike 1 to Randy Wells, who has 5 hits and 29 at-bats, a 172 average. One of those hits a double for Wells. It's 0-2. Happy 60th anniversary to Reverend Don Long and his wife Johnny from Austin. They were married at Hewitt, Texas. Her favorite player is Hunter Pence. Wells strikes out. That's number 4.
And today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the United States Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries. And aboard ships at sea, they're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. Welcome. Enjoy the ball game, and thanks for your service.
From Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the Astros are 22-29. There's a foul ball from Ryan Theriot. Led off the game with a hit. He reached second on an error and scored an unearned run in that 1st inning.
That could have been uglier. You get the bases loaded in the 1st inning, a time when most pitchers are a little bit vulnerable. They haven't kind of got locked in yet. Could have turned into a big crooked number, but Bud able to limit the damage to just the 1 run.
Little dribbler brings in Norris. Bare hands and throws him out. An easy 2nd inning to help regroup from the 1st. 1-0 Cubs.
The game moves on to the bottom of the second. Greg Lucas up in the presser. A couple of notes I'd like to make. First of all, don't forget this is Live Chat Wednesday. You can get to our live chat spot. And we've already got one out. As Johnson grounds out. You can get to our live chat spot by going to foxsportshouston.com. And then just follow the instructions. I'm especially interested, since we are going to the American Forces stations around the world, that maybe some of you folks would like to join. Again, just if you've got access to a computer, foxsportshouston.com, follow the instructions. We'd like to hear from you, and all Astro fans as well. Brownlee, back to you.
Thank you, Luke. There's out number one on the ground out. Chris Johnson took an 11-game hitting streak into this game. He was retired by Wells. Now Jason Castro. Castro takes ball one. 164 is his average. He has 2 homers, 4 runs batted in for Jason.
He's going to have a good day.
What gave you that vibe?
Nothing.
Okay. Cubs were 83 and 78 last year, and they had some pretty good hopes coming into this season. They were 11 and 6 against the Astros last year. So there has been disappointment along the way for them. 2 balls, 1 strike. Andy Wells, a big part of what they did last year. He had a 3.05 earned run average in 27 starts, going 12 and 10 last season.
Like the Astros, the middle of their order has really struggled for much of the season. Apparently, Aramis, Ramirez, Soriano not so much, and Ramirez has been really good lately. The pitching has been up and down, and probably most notably Carlos Zambrano has just imploded this year.
Wells faced the Astros and Brett Myers here on June 6th. He lost that game 6-3. In the air, Castro heads for first base. Starlin Castro zips out to left field, and it's caught by Nady right behind him. And Starlin Castro had a good head of steam going there.
He's showing some pretty good range there. I've joined the Astros for Faith and Family Night on Saturday, 6:05 ball game with the Brewers. And there'll be a testimony by Lance Berkman and a concert with Jars of Clay after the ball game. Tickets start at just $7, and they can be found at Astros.com.
Big weekend coming up.
Wandy Rodriguez and Dave Bush will be the starting pitchers in that ball game. It's the Brewers' first trip to Minute Maid Park. They've got an exciting team to come and see with all that thunder in the lineup.
Anderson Hernandez. It's backhanded by Terrio. He made a bid for his first hit as an Astro, but now he's 0 for 6 in a Houston uniform. It's a 7-pitch second inning for Randy Wells and a 1-0 Cubs lead.
Astros history brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. July 28, 2006, Luke Scott, called up from Round Rock weeks earlier, hits for the cycle against the Diamondbacks. And he went went home run, triple, double, single to do it, and that single came in the 11th inning.
1-0 Cubs. There's strike one to Starlin Castro. Castro hit the ground ball to Hernandez, which he booted, and that put runners at first and second, nobody out. Ground ball up the middle will get through into center field this time, and that's an 8-game hitting streak now for Starlin Castro. Hit number 2 for the Cubs. Tyler Colvin next. Ivan De Jesus is the first base coach. Colvin, just 23 years old, was the 13th player drafted in the 06 draft. He came through Tommy John surgery in 08. Had 17 at-bats last year with the Cubs. And this year he has been entrenched in that lineup for a while now. He jumped from Double-A Tennessee to Chicago last year. Colvin takes ball one. He had a 4-pitch walk earlier. That Saturday game JD was talking about. The gates open at 4 o'clock. First 10,000 fans receive the Jeff Bagwell bobblehead courtesy of AT&T. Game time 6:05, and then the testimony by Lance Berkman and the concert begin approximately 20 minutes after the end of the game. Runner going. Here's the throw from Castro. What a laser shot, but he's safe. Castro steals on Castro, and the fast shortstop gets in with steal number 4.
Castro, just an outstanding athlete. His game is still pretty raw. There's a number of mental mistakes on the field, but you can see the talent there. He's strong, he's fast, and he's got a big necklace. My goodness. He could have stolen that base standing up if he wasn't wearing that thing. Jex Energy provides our pitch tracker. And Norris will try to keep that fastball down around the bottom of the knees like he has there. Fastball, slider, and changeup are the pitches he features.
Necklace reminds us of something Terry Poole was saying this winter about playing the outfield alongside Cesar Cedeno. He said Cedeno ran so hard, and a lot of those playoff games, there was so much noise in the outfield at the Astrodome. It was hard to tell who was calling, but he said, I would hear the chains coming behind me. Get out of this way.
I thought of that. It's good thinking. Wear a cowbell out there.
Yeah. Ball 4. Colvin reaching now, first and second. Nobody out again for Bud Norris for the second time in 3 innings.
Colvin, not a particularly patient guy in terms of walks. He's walked 17 times. Well, he had walked 17 times coming into this game. But drawing 2 walks here, but not particularly close with most of his offerings to Colvin.
27 strikes to 20 balls so far, the ratio, and now it's Aramis Ramirez. He hit the fly ball to right for the sac fly in the first inning. Astros starting pitchers have been in a pretty good spot. 2.78 ERA the last 22 games, but the Astros are only 11-11 in those 22. Strike to Ramirez. Friday night, Roy Oswalt 6-12 with a 3.42 ERA versus Manny Parra 3-7 with a 5.33. 7:05 Friday night. Wesley Wright gets the call Sunday, and Randy Wolf is his mound opponent. In the dirt for a 1-1 count, and the Wandy Rodriguez Dave Bush matchup is the Saturday night game. Jeff Fulcino scheduled to make his second rehab appearance for Round Rock tonight. He worked a scoreless inning Monday night. And today we already have the result. 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, 18 pitches for Jeff at Oklahoma City. One and 2. So he could be back soon, and also Jeff Blum may be going out. Brad Mills said perhaps as early as Sunday to begin his minor league rehab assignment. after surgery on his right elbow for bone chips.
I saw Jeff taking ground balls yesterday, throwing the ball across the diamond. He looked good.
Brad Mills was on a roll last night with his managerial decisions. Ground ball third. Johnson to second. Hernandez to first. Double play. Around the horn. Doubling up Ramirez. Castro to third base. 2 outs.
Well, if you had around the horn double play on your baseball bingo card, make sure you mark it down. And it looked to me like Aramis Ramirez pulled up a little bit going down the first baseline here. Yeah, something's barking.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Lou Piniella giving a lot of his regulars a rest today, a day off coming tomorrow. So there are several banged up players presumably on that bench. Nady was strike one. He struck out in the first inning. The Astros 24-20 against the clubs in their division. This is a stretch of 20 straight games for them within the division. They're 9-8 so far. No balls, 2 strikes.
And he was behind the Bud Norris fastball in his first at bat. Ultimately was finished off by a good slider. So he's got the jump on him. No balls and 2 strikes. Can go back off the outside edge with that slider again, or maybe run a fastball way up. See if we can get him to swing and miss that. Opted for the slider.
1-2 to Nady. Minnesota 4, Kansas City nothing after 2 at Kansas City. This one heads outside the right field line and will drift back into the seats. Still 1-2. These two clubs who play each other an awful lot. We'll have a couple more series remaining with each other. The Astros will be in Chicago September 6th through the 8th, and the Cubs will be back here October 1st through the 3rd. Hey, speaking of that, did you see the changes in the baseball season when it starts for next year?
No.
Chris Johnson prevents us from getting into that, and that's a good thing because we can pick it up in the bottom of the 3rd. The score, Cubs 1, Astros nothing.
Aggressive fans of the game, and these are, I don't know how many kids, but a whole bunch of kids from Children's Courtyard. Connie, tell us a little bit about your group and how many kids you have here.
We brought 140 kids with us. We come every year. The kids always are really excited and always look forward to coming to the game. So they're pumped. They're ready to go.
And you got one special one here, Taylor. What's special about today for you?
Today's my birthday, I'm turning 11.
11 years old. Happy birthday to Taylor. Now, Connie also told me that each and every year you guys come out, you have one goal. What's your goal out here?
Our one goal every year is to try to start the wave in the stadium.
All right, I'm going to give you your Progressive Fan of the Game bag, and we're going to go ahead and watch you and see if you can get it started. Good luck.
Great. Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Keep an eye on this one, guys.
It's going to take a while to get that group organized.
We have a developing situation here.
The waves are already rocking and rolling.
1-2 to Bud Norris. He stepped out. Wells looked in. A moment of questioning what was going on. But Wells gets a strikeout, and that's his first of the day. Michael Bourne will follow. He drew a walk leading off the Astros' first inning, and he was erased on the ground ball. This is game number 101 of the season for the Astros. They are 41-59 in their first 100 games.
Oh, about the schedule for next year. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. There's a bunt by Bourne. Wells over, throws, and gets him.
Wow. You don't get Michael Bourne on that play. Outstanding play, if indeed they got him. Ramirez made the play to force Michael at second last time, and now Randy Wells comes flying off that mound. This is a nice bunt. 9 out of 10 times he's going to beat the rap on this one. Yeah, well, that's a coin flip.
Greg Gibson on the call, and it was out number 2 now. Angel Sanchez takes a strike.
Wow, that's one I don't think you can argue either way. Whatever you want, Greg. Safe out.
Eyelash call.
Yeah, we've looked at it a few times now, and I can't count.
Nearly the Astros' first hit of the game. Woo! There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Well, there's a story in USA Today Sports about Major League Baseball opening up Friday, April 1st next year. Usually it's a traditional Sunday night opener, and most teams play on Monday. Castro to first base. It's only 9 pitches for Wells. He's been clipping along. He has not allowed a hit through the first 3, and it's 1-0 Cubs.
All over the world coming in on live chat. We have several in the military from Sicily and in the Navy. Fred Walters is watching. 3 or 4 from Camp Victory, Iraq have checked in. Sanjay, Mark Mazaret, and one that just was signed in as guest. Also, Helen and Stewart in Devon, England are watching on MLB.tv. Hello to all of you. Thank you for watching Astros baseball. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Greg. 1-0 Cubs. Fukudome leads it off in the fourth. Taking ball one. That is the 57th pitch for Bud Norris, his mound opponent. Randy Wells has thrown only 33. Fukudome fouls it away. We got an email from somebody in Australia last week. 1-1 for Bud Norris, and that guy is really pleased that he has selected that seat today. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Astros are big all over the world, Browning.
Isn't it a worldwide sport now? It's crazy. People are watch from all over. People are playing in all these different countries throughout the world. 2-2 the count. Big soccer game here tonight. The MLS All-Star game. That's strike 3. 5th strikeout for Bud Norris.
Roman shaking his head like he thought this ball was off the plate. Carapaza is the home plate umpire. Looked like a pretty good pitch from my perspective.
Yeah.
Especially with 2 strikes. Probably ought to be willing to go after that one.
Jeff Baker struck out swinging in the first with the bases loaded. Now bunting. Bud Norris bare hands. He makes a play. Both pitchers off the mound in good shape so far today. 2 outs.
Yeah, Bud's a good athlete. He doesn't necessarily look athletic, but he is. He's got quick feet, good eye-hand coordination. He swings the bat well. Had plenty of time to make that play. Didn't have to hurry as much as he did.
Well, a guy who didn't look athletic, who pitched for years for the Chicago Cubs and other teams, who was quite an athlete, was Rick Russell.
Yeah, Big Daddy. He was very good. Good hitter, good fielder. Good move, too, for a big man.
Yeah. Coy Hill taking ball 1. A fastball zips in to even the count at 1-1. Hill struck out in the 2nd inning. Cincinnati and Milwaukee have not scored through the first 3. This Narveson going for Milwaukee in that game today. It's a 2-ball, 1 strike count. There have been Prince Fielder trade rumors. That would be a major chip if he moved to another club.
Giants are looking for a bat. Prince Fielder's name you hear a lot. Adam Dunn, Jorge Cantu.
Yeah. Travis Woods pitching for the Reds against Narveson in that scoreless game in Milwaukee. Norris hits it. 3-2.
The Jason Worth trade talks probably on hold now. Shane Victorino went on the disabled list with an oblique injury he suffered in last night's ball game.
Fouled away in the NL Central as Carlos Lee comes over. Doesn't have a play there. It's St. Louis and Cincinnati in a virtual dead heat. Cardinals have a 1 percentage point lead. They're 55-45. The Reds are 56-46 as they vie for the leadership in the NL Central, and they both have an 8-game lead on Milwaukee. She's in the right spot. And Norris looked like the changeup. He got strikeout number 6. 1-0 Cubs in the 4th. Myers' ERA this season, month by month, 3.82 in April, going way down in May, spiking up a little bit in June, 4.24. That's not all that bad. In July, he's way up there in terms of excellence, 1.67, low in terms of ERA.
The June number inflated a little bit because of his final start in June. And Milwaukee allowed 7 runs in that game. That's really the only bad game he's had all year.
Strike to Lance Berkman. He walked in the first inning.
And even in that ball game, he gave the Astros 6 innings. He's done that every time he's gone to the hill this year.
He's the only major league player to do that. Berkman looks at it, found Wells, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Larry Durker had the club record, making 26 starts in a row of at least 6 innings. Myers has 21, fouled away 1 and 2. Darryl Kyle had 24. And Myers' current streak to begin a season of 6 innings or more, 21 straight, is the longest in the majors since Pedro Martinez had 22 games in a row in 2005. Berkman looks at ball 2. Randy Wells 2-1 lifetime against the Astros with a 2.08 ERA for 4 games. He's only made 1 start here, and that one didn't go well. It's 3-2. That was the one back on June 6th of this year. But Bud Norris hanging in, hoping for some run support. The Astros had to wait last night, Fred Myers and company, until the 7th inning for any runs to score. And then all 6 runs in the game scored in that 1 inning for the Astros. Still 3-2 to Lance. Berkman had an RBI single here off Wells, and Carlos Lee a 2-run homer. And Wells lost to the Astros June 6th. He gave up 3 in the first in that game. Second time through the order, just about the same as the first time. The third time a little bit higher. There's a walk, and Berkman takes his second of the game. That's number 3 for Wells.
Well, we talked about it last time Lance was up there. Even when he's not swinging it well, he draws his walks, and that's why he's a valuable guy to have leading off an inning. He really serve as a table setter.
Hunter Pence follows. Hunter with a deep drive to center in the first inning. I mentioned earlier that the 60th anniversary couple, the Reverend Don Long and his wife Johnny, her favorite player is Hunter Pence. They were married at Hewitt, Texas, 60 years ago on this date, and they attended their first major league game in 1964 at Colt Stadium. With 2 balls, no strikes. Good day for the youngsters to come out, take in the day game, and be home by dinner.
Dinner's here at the ballpark.
That's true.
Pounding nachos and fries and cotton candy all day.
That's a good dinner. 2-1 to count.
Good pitch to swing at, took a good aggressive hack, just didn't get it. Boy, Hill got it.
Yeah.
In the mug.
There'll be a lot of concussion syndromes around the major leagues again this year. Ryan Dolman's had that problem. Right into center field. 6-game hitting streak now for Hunter Pence. Runners at first and second, and nobody out.
Seeing it well off Randy Wells today. Hit that deep drive to center last time, and now this BB for a base hit. Chuck and duck. Lance had to wait to make sure the ball got through, hit on the line, freeze, and then advance.
That means Carlos Lee has an RBI situation here. Get the ball on the ground to the first baseman, who tossed to the pitcher in the first inning. Carlos, a career .299 hitter against Chicago, has 32 long balls with 90 driven in against the Cubs. Lee takes a look at ball one. Well, you talked about the Shane Victorino injury. We see that Dominic Brown has been promoted to the big leagues by the Phillies. He's their top prospect. Left-handed hitting outfielder. Popped up. Infield fly. Terrio, one out.
Cardinals just can't get anything going offensively. Had that big opportunity in the first. Grounded out to the first baseman to end the inning, and now first and second, nobody out. Hits that little pop up to the second sacker. Obviously, he is very frustrated.
Chris Johnson's been the hot bat for the Astros with that 11-game hitting streak.
Astros rookie record for hitting streaks belongs to Terry Poole. He had 17 consecutive games back in 76 or 77, whenever he broke in. As a youngster out of Melville, Canada.
Yeah. Ball one to CJ. Chris Burke had an 11-game streak as a rookie in 05. Julio Lugo hit in 14 straight games as an Astros rookie in 2000. First year at Minute Maid Park. There's a lot of hitting that year. The Astros set a National League record for home runs that year. A little tap back to the mound. Wells throws to second and gets the out there, but his low throw prevented a double play. And he was mad at himself for that low throw to Terrio for the 1-4 force on fence.
And the footwork not real pretty there by Wells. And throw such that Terrio just decided to catch the ball and get out of harm's way. Has to reach back across his body, has to make sure he catches the ball, and that pretty much eliminates any chance of getting the double play.
That means Jason Castro has an opportunity with runners at first and third and 2 outs.
It's good because he's my pick to flick.
Oh yeah, that's right. He popped to short inside the left field line. Starlin Castro ranged back. Anderson Hernandez is on deck. Ball one to Castro. Castro, with men in scoring position, is 1 for 21. Tap foul. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Dominic Brown, the outfielder who joins the Phillies tonight, recently was named the top prospect in baseball by Baseball America. 93 games this season at AA Reading and AAA Lehigh Valley. He hit a combined .327 with 20 homers, 68 runs batted in those 93 games.
All the trade talks that the Phillies have been engaged in the last couple of years, he's the one name you continually hear that they say, we're not going to part with him. Mr. Untouchable.
Castro fouls it back as he battles here. The longest inning in terms of pitches thrown so far by Randy Wells. 19 pitches.
Story online here saying that Derek Lee has told the Cubs that he would not accept the trade. Apparently there was some talk between the Angels and the Cubs, and D. Lee said no. He does not want to be traded. He's a 10-5 man. Wants to play out his time with the Cubs. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year.
Well, there will be a new manager for the Cubs next year. New ownership has taken over, so they'll have to evaluate that situation after the season. After Lou Piniella heads for home in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, and some might criticize Lee, saying, "Oh, you have a chance to go play in a pennant race and be part of the winner," but sometimes that mercenary thing doesn't play real well. It's not the same as when you've been there all year helping your club.
Toward the right field corner by Castro, and that is a foul ball.
Man, you're killing me.
Oh, so close.
starting to feel smart.
2 runs could have scored on that. You're still not out of contention here in this at bat, JD.
Missed it by that much, Chief. Boy, that looked like a double off his bat.
It did. Didn't have a lot of hook to it, but just enough. Anderson Hernandez on deck as Castro battles here against Wells, who's allowed only 1 hit.
That's the operative word, battle. Just compete, stay in the at-bat. He fouled off a fastball, then got a piece of a good off-speed pitch to stay alive. Now they're going to talk it over. What do you want to do? This guy's tough to finish off.
It's one thing that Castro has brought to the bottom of the order for the Astros, batting 7th today. The ability to make a pitcher expend a number of pitches. Wells gets a strikeout to win the 4th inning. No runs, a hit, 2 men stranded. 1-0 Cubs. Baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by Comcast, by your Texas Chevy dealers, by AT&T, by the 2010 Ford F-150, and by Gullo Ford and Gullo Toyota. Church right across the street, right across Texas Avenue from Minute Maid Park. We go to the 5th inning, 1-0 Cubs, but Norris pumps in strike 1 to Randy Wells, who struck out in the 2nd inning. Brian McTaggart, the fine writer for MLB.com and Astros.com, has a story online today. Rolled, and Norris will go to cover. Berkman with the toss high, but he gets down for it and got spiked. Well, stepped on his foot, and that's out number 1, and it hurts.
Lance ranging far to his right to get this slow roller. Had plenty of time with Wells going down the line. Bud coming off the bag and then reaching back for it. Wanted to make sure he got the base, so he was all over the top of the bag, and Randy Wells had nowhere to go. High throw set up the timing and everything out of whack on that play. Hopefully Bud's okay. Get it out of there. Ooh.
That's a ton of bricks on the top of his foot. Head athletic trainer Nate Lucero out, along with Brad Mills, to look at Bud Norris. The story online by Brian McTaggart at Astros.com says Roy Oswalt said on Wednesday today he and his family would need an ample amount of time to decide if they were going to accept any trade proposals given to him in advance of Saturday afternoon's trade deadline. And saying that Roy didn't give any specifics, but said he doesn't want to be approached with a trade proposal only an hour before the 3 p.m. Central Time deadline. His quote is saying, "I'm hoping it's not going to be dropped on me an hour before the deadline." Well, he's pitching Friday night, so things could be spinning very quickly this weekend.
Yeah, with all the conversation surrounding that potential trade, the more I read, the more I hear, it sounds less and less likely that it's going to be dealt.
Yeah.
Just to find the right match, to find the teams that are willing to take on the contract. And you get the sense from Roy that there's few scenarios that he's really interested in. Kind of what you hear, you know, you read between the lines.
Now 1 out, and it's Ryan Theriot batting. He has one of 2 Cubs hits. His was a leadoff single, and he came around to score. Cracks that one on the ground, back up the middle again. This is his first inning hit.
They're attacking Bud's foot. First they step on him, and Theriot tries to get a piece of it with that ground ball. His 2 hits, Castro's hit, very similar, just staying on the ball and whacking it right back up the middle.
Came right back toward him. Theriot, his name has been bandied about in trade rumors. He's 2 for 3 in this game. He has 16 steals this year. Starlin Castro follows. He's 1 for 2. That's why he rates a throw. FoxSports.com and KRIV TV in Houston both reported today the Cardinals were out of the running for Oswalt. But MLB.com reported on Tuesday the Phillies remain the top contenders. But as Dave Dombrowski, I believe it was one of the general managers in Major League Baseball, was quoted as saying in one of today's newspapers, it's almost changing by the hour this time of year on all these trade scenarios.
Yeah, and you wonder how much all the experts really know. I mean, most of the GMs don't like to come out and talk openly about what their conversations are.
Now, this is a chance for organizations to try to look beyond the remainder of this year. Some of them do. Some of them are more into short-term thinking. Usually those are the contenders. Let's get to the playoffs this year. Let's see how far we can go. Runner going, and it's blooped foul and out of play. But the teams that are out of contention can think longer haul and try to position themselves in any trades for something beyond the rest of this year. They've got
and to that end, you know, Ed Wade's in a pretty comfortable spot with Roy Oswalt. I mean, if the right deal comes along, he can pull the trigger. If not, he can wait. Maybe have the same scenario next year.
Yeah. Just because a player has said, you know, if the right opportunity comes along, I wouldn't mind being traded, he's not forced to do anything. Runner going. Line drive center field, and that's a hit in front of Michael Bourne, who decoyed. So Theriot stopped at second on the single by Castro. First and second, 1 out.
Castro continues to swing the bat well, on base 3 times here this afternoon. Reaches on an error, then 2 base hits. Michael out there in center field on that ball in a hurry with his arm. Theriot was not going to be able to go first to third anyway. So let's see if Bud has a solution here for Tyler Colvin. 2 trips, 2 walks, and really hasn't thrown many good pitches at all.
Colvin pops it up. Chris Johnson coming into foul ground, chasing Castro over to the on-deck circle and make the grab. 2 outs. A very big one there for Bud Norris. And Ramos Ramirez comes up.
Colvin got tired of walking. Up there, first pitch swinging. Had a ball up. Couldn't get to it. Castro has to negotiate the minefield that is the on-deck circle. Weighted bat, the pine tar rag. That ring they used to put on the end of the bat, provide extra weight, all in his way.
Nady's in that on-deck circle while Ramirez bats. He's hit a sac fly and he's grounded into a double play, and he's late on that heater, strike one. Ramirez had said in a story yesterday that he plans on being around Chicago next year. Apparently he has an option on his contract for about $14.5 million.
Well, he'd be insane not to exercise that option if it's a player option, and he's hitting 226. To turn down $14 million option would be crazy.
Sure. Cubs have 4 hits. The Astros have 1.
Kind of funny to consider there's a scenario where it is a good idea to turn down a $14 million option.
Smash. Sanchez gets up, throws to first. Spectacular play. And Ramirez hit it hard, but Sanchez went down to the backhand side, got up and threw him out. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded. Here's the play that ends the top of the 5th with the score 1-0 Cubs. Something moving here in the bottom of the 5th as they trail, and they've been held to 1 hit by Randy Wells. That was a Hunter Pence single in the last inning. The Astros had a good start there. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Then Wells got a pop-up from Carlos Lee. Ground ball back to him from Johnson, and he struck out Castro. Hernandez grounded to second his first time up. Big ball 1. I asked Jeff Bagwell what time he got to the ballpark today. He said about 9 o'clock. So all the coaches were already here. So these guys get here early. All back, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Wells pitching another dandy as he has several times against the Astros. Last night the Astros started an unlikely rally, a 6-run inning. Started with the number 8 hitter behind 0-2 in the count. That was Humberto Quintero. He got hit by a pitch.
And what happens with a lot of coaching staffs? One guy really likes to come to the ballpark early. And then the other guys feel, oh, if he's going to be here, then I guess I got to be here. And there's this kind of peer pressure.
Right.
I think every now and then somebody has to say, all right, guys, let's make it packed. Let's everybody show up at 2 o'clock today.
Hernandez is down on strikes. That's number 3 for Wells. We go to Patty Smith.
Well, this Friday after the Astros battle the Brewers at 7:05. Stick around for Friday Night Fireworks presented by Marathon Oil. This Friday's show will include a special musical tribute to the Beatles. Also take advantage of Coca-Cola Value Nights and receive 4 View Deck 2 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and 4 Astro Cabs, all for just $65. Visit Astros.com for tickets today, Bill.
Patty, of course, among those far too young to remember the Beatles and their music.
Who?
That's ball 1 to Bud Norris. He struck out earlier. And it's a 2-ball, no strike count. Wells shut out the Astros in his first 2 starts against Houston in 2009. Both of them at Chicago. 2-1. In the first one, he had 6 shutout innings. Got a no decision. In the second one, 8 shutout innings. He won that one 12-0.
Love his tempo.
Yeah.
Man, he's just, let's go. Let's get after it.
Like Brett Myers last night.
Yeah. See, he and Oswald getting together, playing an hour-and-a-half ball game.
You know it.
So on a nice run here. Shutout baseball. His last 2 starts, so 14-18 in the third, consecutive scoreless now for Mr. Wells.
Well, he was 3-0 in April. Then he had a really bad start against the Cardinals in late May. Didn't get a batter out, giving up 6 hits and 5 earned runs. In the hole, backhanded Castro. Castro's throw is low, and it's dug out by Baker. 2 outs. Baker, with his first start at first base, comes up with a nice play.
It's kind of anything you can do, I can do better thing going on here today. Wells makes a play, then Norris makes a play. Sanchez makes a play in the hole. Castro makes a play in the hole.
Not an easy play there for Baker. 2 outs, and Michael Bourne comes up, taking a pitch while Bud Norris towels off. Ball 1 to Michael, who walked in the first. He tried to bunt his way on in the third, and Wells made a very good play on him. All those you talked about.
So if the Angels made a run at Derek Lee and Derek Lee refuses to trade, I wonder where they go next.
Well, they
Cantu.
Yeah, they could go to Cantu. You know, we keep reading the name Mike Lowell, but he's not playing again yet, is he? Maybe he is.
I think he's playing in the minor leagues. He's
Okay.
kind of in a rehab, I believe.
That'd be risky with his injury background. 3 balls, no strikes. There was one story today that said the Rangers are still interested in Oswald. Michael Bourne takes a 2-out walk. That's the 4th walk by Wells.
I just don't see how that could possibly work out because the Rangers can't take any money right now because of the bankruptcy situation.
And that's not going to be solved before Saturday. Angel Sanchez is 0 for 2. I was asking Brad Mills when he called Sanchez over last night in the 7th inning, was he telling him he was going to be bunting? He said, well, I was just asking him if he felt comfortable doing that. Telling him to be alert, and then he decided to go with the safety squeeze instead of the suicide squeeze, and it really worked well, although Cashner made a heck of a play trying to scoop that ball out of his glove.
He made it close, and that's the beauty of a guy like Jason Bourgeois with his speed. You can put a safety squeeze on where the base runner doesn't come until he knows the ball is going to be down. Suicide squeeze, he's breaking with the pitch.
Yeah, Bourgeois really had an impact on that game. Brad Mills and Bourgeois' teammates talked about it afterwards. Came right in as a pinch runner for Quintero, immediately stole a base so Myers could sacrifice him to third instead of to second.
The speed, one of those elements when you're thinking about your bench guys. It's nice to have somebody who can come in, pinch run, steal a base, and create a little havoc. You talk about speed and power on the bench, but in reality, how many times does somebody come off the bench and pop a home run as a pinch hitter for you? Very, very rarely.
Bourne is drawing some attention, and with a 2-out situation, he should be here. If he can steal this bag, it could be big for the Astros. But the Cubs could pitch out here with an 0-1 count. The appeal at first. Oh, a swing. That makes it 0-2. Quite a different complexion now to this at bat. Bourne's going. Swing and a miss for a strikeout to end it. No runs, no hits. That's strikeout number 4 with a man left on base. It is 1-0 Cubs through 5. Like freeze cam, freezing a double play ball to Chris Johnson. Gets his feet set. Now it's a matter of just stepping, transferring a weight, and throwing to Anderson Hernandez. And around the horn double play. The Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by the Frostproof Coors Light. That was on Ramos Ramirez back in the 3rd inning with 2 on, nobody out. Now Xavier Nady. And his ball 1 to Nady. He is struck out and grounded out. Bud Norris doing well, competing despite the fact that his club has managed only 1 hit through 5. He's been in some trouble. This one heads for Hunter Pence's territory in right. 1 out. Cubs left the bases loaded in the 1st inning. They had 2 men on, nobody out in the 3rd. And that double play ball you just saw. They had 2 men on with 1 out in the 5th, and Norris got the next 2.
Yeah, Cubs are much better in odd innings than they are in even innings. 2nd and 4th, they've gone 3 up, 3 down both times. So this should be a pretty easy inning here.
Kosuke Fukudome would like to think otherwise. He has walked and struck out. And he goes for it, hits a fly ball. Carlos Lee backing. Right there, almost at the base of the wall, 2 down on 3 pitches. Taking on the undertones of that 1-0 game that Bud pitched against the Padres in San Diego. He went 7 shutout innings, got a no decision. But right now he's on the hook for this one with Jeff Baker coming up, 0 for 2.
And 1 run in this ball game scored by the Cubs in the top half of the 1st, unearned.
Strike to Baker. Baker was born in Germany. Dad perhaps was in the service, as a lot of folks who are watching this game are right now. No balls, 2 strikes. He was the all-time home run leader at Clemson when he left. And Tyler Colvin also came from that school. One and 2.
Danny Wallen, Billy Spires.
Yeah.
Clemson products. Jimmy Key, I believe, pitched at Clemson.
I didn't remember him being a Clemson Tiger. 85 pitches for Bud. And he gets a swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 7. Took him only 7 pitches to work his way through the 6th inning. 1-0 Cubs.
Brewers 7:05. Friday night fireworks presented by Marathon Oil. And it's also Coca-Cola Value Night. 4 view deck, 2 tickets, 4 dogs, 4 sodas, 4 cabs for just $65. Tickets at Astros.com. That's Friday night. Saturday night, along with the Faith and Family Night, it's a Jeff Bagwell bobblehead night, courtesy of AT&T. So big weekend at the Yard as the Brewers come to town for the first time in 2010.
Now Randy Wells has fallen behind Lance Berkman. 2 balls, no strikes. He's walked Lance both times in the 1st and 4th innings. Wells has 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and leads 1-0.
Those clubs, even though Lance is having an off year, are very wary of challenging him. Of course, that grand slam from last night fresh in Wells' mind. Didn't have to be Vic Carapazza. Didn't have to be 3-0 Leo.
Cubs starting pitchers lead the majors in quality starts. They have 63. Berkman has his 3rd walk of the day. 2nd one leading off an inning. That's number 5 for Wells, and he faces Hunter Pence next.
That's Marcus Camby there.
Really?
NBA guy, yeah.
Picked him out of the crowd. Pence singled sharply to center field in the 4th.
Seats aren't designed for Marcus.
No.
See, about 6'10".
Yeah, probably. Hunter Pence 1 for 2. Squirts 1 foul for strike 1. Well, it's that time of year when we do see some NBA players in the seats. Patty Smith found the Rockets' 1st round choice and talked to him the other night. Carlos Lee's on deck. Line shot, fair into the left field corner. Berkman hits for 3rd. Dave Park's going to send him in. Hunter Pence stopping at 2nd, and the game is tied 1-1. RBI double. Hunter Pence, his 51st run batted in. Double number 17 for Hunter.
Now Berkman's been on base 3 times today. Hunter twice now. And Hunter, the only time they got him out, he hit that deep drive to center field. So much maligned middle of the order coming through this afternoon, to a degree anyway. Good swing of the bat here by Hunter. Good aggressive send by Dave Clark as he's keeping his eye on the ball as he waves Lance.
Now 1-1. That was hit number 2 for the Astros. Carlos Lee's the batter. He's 0 for 2. That's strike one. He popped up with runners at first and second, nobody out in the fourth inning, and grounded out with runners at second and third to end the first. It's his third straight opportunity with a man in scoring position. High drive to left field. They're getting up out in the boxes. It's hooking, and he made it. Two-run homer for Carlos Lee. The Astros grab the lead on Lee's two-run shot, giving him 50 runs batted in. That's home run number 13 for El Caballo. 3-1 Houston.
Now Carlos took the first pitch of the at-bat right down the middle of a fastball, and maybe he just said, I'm going to sit on a breaking pitch this at-bat, and when he throws it, I'm going to be ready for it. And the only question was, would it stay fair? You knew he got enough of it. Are we eating chicken?
Well, we need to look at that again. We might be eating chicken.
The foul pole. I don't know if we're doing the chicken this year or not.
Okay. Well, Carlos has struck a big blow anyway. It's 3-1. And Johnson puts one in the air on the right side of the infield. Baker underneath. One down.
Walk, double, home run.
Yeah, banged off the left field foul pole.
Right off the upright.
The promotion has been to take the ticket stub to a Chick-fil-A the next day by what? A certain time of day?
We'll have to check it.
Get a chicken sandwich. That was the promotion last year anyway. We'll have to check.
I haven't been reading it this year, so maybe we're not doing it.
Castro fouls it away. They strike one. He is 0 for 2. Nonetheless, Jeff Bagwell's got to be happy with that development.
Just go buy a chicken sandwich and celebrate that home run.
Castro takes it. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the Astros break through here in the 6th, putting up a crooked number. They had to wait until the 7th inning last night to score 6. 2-1. Third time was the charm for Carlos with men in scoring position in this game. And he's had big career numbers against Cubs pitching. That's his 33rd career long ball against them. That's a smash into right center for Castro. Takes a big turn. And he's 1 for 3 now. Well hit ball by Jason.
Well, just missed extra bases last time up. He yanked one down the right field line. Larry Rothschild on the bat phone.
Now, that's hit number 4. 3 of them in this inning. Brian Schlitter's warming up for the Cubs. The Astros lead at 3-1, and pitcher spot comes up second in the 7th for Chicago. 87 pitches for Wells. Hernandez is grounded out and struck out. Ramirez in tight at third. Double play depth for Castro and Terrio. And it's ball 1. Bud Norris on deck. This game has turned in the last few minutes. Hernandez, 26 years old, signed with Detroit in 01 to begin his professional career. Line drive left. His first hit as an Astro. Bounces in front of Nady. The 4th hit of the inning. Runners at first and second for Bud Norris. Or a pinch hitter, Jason Michaels now is coming out. Brad Mills is going for the jugular.
Wells elevating that fastball. Had run on it, moving away from Hernandez, but stayed up in the zone, and he was able to stay on it and line it to left field. Bud Norris with 6 good innings this afternoon. Chance to get him up into the clubhouse for a little ice on the shoulder, maybe a little on that foot. With a pat on the back and a job well done. He's going to make it there eventually.
6 innings of 4-hit, 1-run baseball. No earned runs allowed by Norris. in the position to get a win, which would be his 3rd of the year. Bud trying to snap a personal 3-game losing streak and pick up his first win since May 13th at St. Louis.
The longest walk for the shortest visit in the history of the game.
Yeah.
Slow stroll out. Muttered a couple of words, turned around, slow stroll back.
Jason Michaels is a pinch hitter for Bud Norris with a .245 batting average. He's had 102 at bats. He has 5 homers, 16 driven in. 176 pinch hitting with 1 homer and 5 runs batted in for J. Mike. He's had some big pinch hits lately, including one at Chicago against the Cubs. And he looks at ball 1. Michaels 2 for 9 with 2 runs batted in against Chicago pitching this season. He's doubled in 2 of his last 4 plate appearances as a pinch hitter. One to Jason Michaels. He's made 15 starts this year. .333 is his batting average with runners in scoring position, with a couple of homers and 12 runs batted in. Michaels to center field. Colvin. And Castro will go back, but not advance as the throw comes in. 2 outs. Andy Wells still in the game due to come up second in the top of the 7th inning. Trailing 3-1. Lou Pinella's right behind him as he walks toward the mound, and he had that look on his face, a dejected shrug as he looked over and saw Pinella coming. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Wilton Lopez warming up for the Astros. Schlitter's been throwing for the Cubs. Back in a moment with the score 3-1 Houston. More possibly coming for the Astros. Alan Trammell is the bench coach for Chicago Cubs. Is he the answer to our AT&T trivia question? No, he's the question. He was the 87 AL MVP runner-up. Who was the winner in 87?
7. Well, the Minnesota Twins went to the World Series that year, played the St. Louis Cardinals. Kirby Puckett comes to mind.
Yeah. He's probably a pretty good guess. Meanwhile, lefty James Russell comes in. He's 0-1. His ERA is 4.40.
He's got some intriguing numbers. The strikeout to walk ratio just outstanding. 22 strikeouts, just 4 walks. But the home runs, averaging almost 3 home runs per 9 innings pitched. 9 long balls for the lefty. 28 innings.
Bourne faces him, looks at ball 1. Bourne has walked twice and has been thrown out trying to bunt. Lefties 190 for Michael Bourne facing these left-handers. He has a homer and 6 runs batted in. As Castro at second, Hernandez at first with 2 outs.
Michael likes to shoot the ball to left field and would be more inclined to do so with a lefty on the mound, because he's, you're constantly left on left. As a hitter, you're telling yourself, stay in, stay in, stay in, don't pull off. And with that approach, you're more likely to hit the ball the other way. It's important that Jason Castro get a good jump out there off of second base.
Bourne puts it in the air, and the left fielder Nady comes over. Castro darts from shortstop, and they both arrive in that foul territory outside the left field line with the catch by Castro. The Astros send 8 to the plate. They tie it on a Hunter Pence double. They go ahead on a Carlos Lee 2-run homer. Free chicken sandwiches at Chick-fil-A for everybody with their ticket stubs from this ball game. 3-1 Astros. MVP runner-up in the American League. Who won the award? Was it Kirby Puckett? It was George Bell. Yeah, that's right. Toronto Blue Jays. Bud Norris with 86 pitches through 56 strikes in 6 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 1 run, no earned runs, walking 3, fanning 7. He gives way to Wilton Lopez, who's 3-0 with a 3.96.
And Bud Norris's ability to pitch out of that big jam in the first inning, allow just the 1 run, really the key in this ball game. So Bud needs to wait for 9 more outs and see if the boys in the bullpen can hold it for him, and he could pick up his first W against someone other than the St. Louis Cardinals this year, and that would be richly deserved. He was very good today.
And he was under the gun from the outset, as you mentioned. Coy Hill, the first man to face Lopez. He has struck out both times today. Lopez starts him with strike 1 over the inner part of the plate. Lopez has come in for more and more important assignments with the way he's progressed since coming up from the minor leagues to join the Astros. Little tap goes foul. He's gotten ahead of the hitters a pretty good percentage of the time, and really has held up quite well with repeated appearances. One of those guys who's gained the trust of the manager, the pitching coach, and his teammates. He worked a scoreless inning Monday night. This is his 7th appearance in the last 11 Astros games. It's 1-2 for Wilton Lopez. He needed only 14 pitches for his scoreless inning Monday night here. Strikes out Coy Hill. Strikeout number 8 for Astros pitching.
It's the hat trick for Coy Hill. 3 trips, 3 punch outs, all swinging. This is just a dive bomb changeup. Has very similar action to his sinking fastball. The fastball 91 to 93 miles an hour. That pitch coming in at 85.
Pinch hitter Mike Fontenot from LSU, Slidell, Louisiana. 227 as a pinch hitter, 1 homer, 6 runs batted in for Fontenot. Batting for Russell. Russell retired the only man he faced, Michael Bourne, on a pop-up. Fontenot takes a close one, and that is ball 1 for Wilton Lopez. Fontenot had a 7-game hitting streak, but struck out July 7th as a pinch hitter. That ended that. 1 hopper Berkman tossing to Lopez. 2 outs. Randy Wells in 5 2/3 innings allowed the Astros 5 hits, 3 runs, walking 5, fanning 4.
He walked Lance Berkman 3 times. And that walk to lead off the 6th inning proved to be a big one.
With Tim Burdack warming up for Houston, it's Ryan Theriot batting. Terrio's 2 for 3. Foul back. There's strike 1 to Theriot. The Cubs, with their 4 hits, do not have an extra base hit, and all the hits are from the top 2 guys in the order. 2 from Theriot, 2 from Castro. They've drawn 3 walks in the game. Lou Pinella's club really came firing out with extra base hits Monday night. They had 7 in a 5-2 win of their total of 13 hits. Last night they lost 6-1. They were held to 4 hits by Brad Myers. 2 of them extra base hits by Colvin. It's 0-2.
No percentage in swinging at that one. It's a tapper back to the mound.
Fouled away. The Astros are 4.5 games behind the Cubs. Chicago in 4th place, Houston in 5th in the NL Central. Been an amazing run on Wednesdays. The Astros have won on 11 consecutive Wednesdays this year.
Yeah, that's just inexplainable, just goofy, but it's kind of fun. You know, for a team that's 41-59, I really don't say they've won anything consecutively, but any degree of regularity for whatever reason. Don't mess with this club on Wednesday.
No. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Somebody will break it down. Somebody will figure out why it's happening. Based on zodiac signs or something.
That'll be fun to read when they do.
Positioning of the stars. That chocolate looks good. Mark it on your baseball bingo. Chocolate ice cream cone.
Oh, yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes for Wilton Lopez.
Well, don't get too fancy here. Just throw him a good heater over the fat part of the plate with your movement. Let him put it in play and hope somebody makes a play for it.
There's a shot into left field by Theriot. His 3rd hit.
In a position where he couldn't afford to walk him, had to throw it in there, as I mentioned. Just Theriot able to find the hole between 3rd and short.
Now Brandon Lyon has joined Tim Burdack in the Astros bullpen as those youngsters enjoy the afternoon. Starlin Castro has hits in the 3rd and 5th innings, both singles to center field. He's 2 for 3.
A lot of firepower on the bench for Lou Piniella this afternoon. Derek Lee, Marlon Byrd, Alfonso Soriano, Giovanni Soto. I'll swing it from the right side. That's something that Brad Mills will have to contemplate here if Castro reaches. He goes to Burdak to face Colvin. Who may make the move to the right-handed sluggers on the bench.
Talk about making a move. Those guys are making a move. That icy drink. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Big at bat here. Mosley would rather not have to contemplate that decision. Just let Lopez finish this inning right here with Castro, and then start the 8th with Lyon.
Milton Lopez from Nicaragua just turned 27 a few days ago. Castro has a 1-2 pitch coming next.
Did Wilton think he had him punched out?
He acted like he did.
Yeah. Usually don't get that emphatic reaction to strike 2.
He might have been unhappy that he didn't get the pitch closer to the target, but looked like he thought it might have been all over. Pitch was a little higher than the target was. Let's see what you interpret here as his reaction. Yep.
No bullying in the stands, please.
Well, it's great to see so many youth groups out at this game. Swing and a miss. Buzzed it by Castro for strikeout number 2. It's no runs a hit and a man left. 7th inning stretch time. Finds the youngsters and everybody else getting up, watching a 3-1 Astros lead. Norris allowed just 1 unearned run in 6 innings, giving up 4 hits, walking 3, fanning 7. And then Carlos Lee 2-run homer in the 6th, snapped a 1-1 tie after a Hunter Pence RBI double. Cubs' first 2 hitters in the order have 5 hits, all 5 for Chicago. The rest of the team is hitless against the Astros pitchers, Norris and Lopez. Now, right-hander Brian Schlitter comes in for the Cubs. Bottom of the 7th inning, Sanchez, Berkman, and Pence due up for Houston. Strike 1 for Schlitter. Sanchez is 0 for 3 in this game. Schlitter just came off the disabled list. He's 0-1. His ERA 10.80 for 4 games. Inside out swing, line drive right field line. Caught. Fukudome there for out number 1.
Literally a local guy for the Cubs. He's from Oak Park, Illinois. Went to the College of Charleston. Originally drafted by the Phillies. 4 games at the big league level this year. 5 innings, 10.80 ERA. 30 games then at AAA Iowa. Was 1-1 with a 3.72 there.
He was on the DL with shoulder impingement. Lance Berkman, the batter. 3 walks for Lance. There's strike 1. The paid attendance is 28,046. Schlitter got the loss Sunday night against the Cardinals right after he came off the disabled list in the extra inning game. Gave up a Felipe Lopez homer in the 11th to lose it. 0-2 to Berkman. It's 1-2. Fly ball near the left field line, and that will be out of play for Starlin Castro.
Yeah, if it's not out of play, Castro's going to run it down. He's shown tremendous range going back there in those pop-ups today.
Berkman picks up the bat. That youngster works on what? Glove?
Yeah.
Glove repair. There's a lot of energy those youngsters bring to the ballpark. This kind of a constant buzz. Berkman whacks one to left center field. And that will shoot the gap and go to the bullpen wall. Got a slider up, and he hit double number 16.
Big grand slam last night. 3 walks, and now this double tonight is grand slam back of the Astros bullpen. This time he goes the other way into the left center field alley, but that's his game. Alley to alley, driving the ball, and working with Jeff Bagwell recently and trying to stay back, try to put more weight back, and kind of load up. It's been difficult for him to shift his weight back and then go, so he's kind of just sitting with a little bit more weight on that back foot as the pitch is being delivered.
That's hit number 6 for Houston. Hunter Pence has 2 of those, a single and an RBI double. Taking ball 1. Carlos Zambrano due to rejoin that Cubs bullpen in Colorado. To center field. And a long run here for Colvin. Here's the tag. And Berkman goes from second to third on out number 2. Carlos Lee hit the 2-run homer that snapped the 1-1 tie in the 6th. He's 1 for 3.
Hunter's had good swings all day long. Carlos had one real good swing. Now we're right there.
And he has fed everybody for tomorrow at Chick-fil-A now. And now a deep drive to left field. And it's shot at his second one. And there it is, number 2 of the day for Carlos Lee. Another 2-run shot, his 14th of the year. And the 4 RBI game gets him to 52. He takes over the club lead and runs batted in. 5-1 Astros.
Well, he's been in just an awful funk, and hopefully this is the beginning of a nice little run for him. Hit the off-speed pitch last time. Now he picks on a high fastball from Brian Schlitter. He's got a good heater. He's pretty proud, but he's very aggressive with it. Watch where he throws this one. Belt high right over the middle. On a couple of fastballs last night for base hits.
Chris Johnson fouls it. There's strike 1 to CJ. His 11-game hitting streak on the line. He's 0 for 3 in this one. 19th career multi-home run game for Carlos Lee.
So he's showing to Jeff. See, I did use the barrel. See? Maggie's been dogging him during BP, so you know it works better when you use the barrel.
Out into center field, and Johnson has whipped the hit in to take his hitting streak to 12 games now. So he'll have a day to rest on that streak. Try to get it to 13 Friday night.
A little soft swing on a breaking ball moving away from him. Lobbed into shallow center.
Jason Castro's next. Terry Poole set the club record for rookies. 17-game streak in 77. Castro cranks one foul. Sonny Jackson put together a 16-game streak. Then Lugo and Cedeno with 14 gamers. Bagwell at 13, and Johnson one away from tying Jeff. Last time Carlos Lee had a multi-home run game was August of 07 against Washington. 1-1 to Castro.
Just not mess with this club on Wednesday.
What is it?
You should have just canceled the game. Just put them in the W column and let the Cubs move on to Colorado.
Pretty crazy. Lance Berkman had a 2-home run game against Pittsburgh July 8th. Lee, the second Astro to have a multi-home run game this year. Line into center field, and Castro gets a hit. He's 2 for 4. Johnson to second. 4th hit of the inning.
Told you he was going to have a good game.
Yeah, you did.
Kind of pales compared to what Carlos has done, but nonetheless, another good swing here. For 2 knocks and about a foot away from a double in the right field corner. Jim Leyland has been suspended 1 game and fined an undisclosed amount by Major League Baseball for spraying second base umpire Marty Foster with sunflower seeds during an argument. It was the night of Matt Garza's no-hitter the other night. Arguing with Foster and apparently got a little loose with the sunflower seeds.
Well, he had a quote in the paper this morning. He said, "I never even spit on the ground." So he's contested that charge apparently. Anderson Hernandez is 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th inning. Ball 1. 4 hits in the 6th inning for the Astros. They came up trailing 1-0 when they batted in the 6th. And they have 4 more hits in the 7th. So 8 of their 9 hits have come in the 6th and 7th innings. 2-0 to Hernandez. Boy Hill walks out to the mound. The Cubs, even though they lead the majors in quality starts, they still have a 46-55 record. Bullpen has been troublesome at times this year. They're 11-19 in the pen with a 4.22 ERA. Bob Howry is warming up for them. Zambrano could really help if he's able to return to form. Two balls and a strike. Jeff Samardzija has been getting good results at AAA Iowa as a starter lately. Liner to left and foul. Jason Bourgeois on deck for the Astros. A happy guy.
play-by-play now. Nice.
Good snag. Ankle high. Two to Anderson Hernandez. Bouncer up the middle, deflected. Ontario is there for the 1-4-3 play to end the Astros 7th inning in which they got 2 runs on 4 hits. Carlos Lee hit his second 2-run homer in as many innings to make it 5-1 Astros.
One, as we are just a couple of days away from the trade deadline, I'm here with someone who knows all about that and can probably relate to what Ed Wade is going through. Rockets general manager Daryl Morey just taking a little game on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, the Astros are very kind to invite us over and appreciate the time here.
As I mentioned, can you relate to what you're coming off a big free agency time right now, a lot going on in the NBA, but you can relate to what Ed's going through here.
Yeah, it's always a very stressful time. You're trying to upgrade your team and get things done, and unfortunately it's not all in your control. You got to get another team to takes two to tango.
And you let's talk a little bit about some of the moves that you made. Brad Miller was kind of the big acquisition this offseason. What do you see him bringing to the team? And, of course, the re-signing of Kyle and Luis.
Well, Brad just really brings a great veteran presence, can really pass the ball, someone who's very familiar with Coach Adelman. We think he's going to give us a lot of very strong minutes at the center spot, and getting Skull and Lowry back were big. They really embody our culture and our tough-nosed, hard-playing style we play.
We had the opportunity to meet Patrick Patterson the other night. He threw out the first pitch. Really seemed like a great kid.
Yeah, he's a great kid. You know, I think he's one of those rare guys who's a great person and also extremely talented. And we think he's going to be someone the fans love over time.
A lot of comments as of late about Yao Ming surrounding his health and possible retirement. Just kind of your thoughts, and can you kind of clarify what you feel and know about that?
Yeah, Yao Ming is on track. He'll be there for training camp. I think that's the most important thing. Obviously, he's coming off a significant time off, but we feel very good about what we're seeing.
And when you hear comments like that, you know, do you just kind of, do you cringe? Is it something that kind of goes with the territory? How does that kind of resonate with you?
I just think Yao Ming's one of those rare athletes. He's always very upfront and with the media, and I think that gets him a lot of attention sometimes because I think he talks about things that others might not. He's very excited about where he's at. I think he's just being very, very realistic and trying not to overplay things. I think early on he's going to be on some limited minutes and he'll be working back into shape on the floor. But we expect him he'll definitely be there from game one, and it'll get better as time goes on.
All right, well, we look forward to the season. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the game. And, of course, you can catch all your Houston Rocket games and the preseason games right here on Fox Sports Houston. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. No balls, 2 strikes to Aramis Ramirez after Tyler Colvin looped a single to left center field, with Brandon Lyon coming in at 6-4 with a 3.71 ERA. After Wilton Lopez worked a scoreless 7th inning in which he allowed 1 hit and struck out 2. Lyon pitched Sunday in the 4-0 win over Cincinnati. It's 1-2. 80's on deck for the Cubs, who have been held to 6 hits, all of them singles. Lyon got the win in Chicago last Wednesday. The Astros won that one in 12, 4-3. He came in with the score tied 1-1 in the 10th and worked a couple of scoreless frames. Snap throw to first. Colvin back. We haven't seen Castro throw to the bases very much.
No, but he's got a good arm and quick feet, and nobody throws to the bases like Q does. Q does it all the time.
Yeah. Everyone else will fail by comparison. Lyon throws ball 3, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes for Brandon. Brandon had to get an injection in his right forearm. In the series in Chicago last week, he was covering first base, and he took a fall and skinned up his right forearm. Jason Bourgeois has gone in left field, and he's batting in the 9 spot. Carlos Lee coming out of the game. The pitcher's in the number 5 spot. This fly ball heads for left center. Michael Bourne with a run. In front of the 4-4 sign, a long first out. And there was a rash that Lyon developed on the right forearm, so he got an injection to help with that rash. 1 down, and it's Nady.
Brandon's been very consistent this year. A little bumpy ride here in the month of July. His ERA for the month up over 6, but it's obviously a couple bad outings can really inflate a reliever's ERA over a short period of time. For the most part, he's been very good. He leads the club in appearances. This is his 46th.
Sanchez with a quick flip. Anderson Hernandez on to Berkman, who scoops it. A fun double play to watch. A little juggling act in the middle of the diamond, then Berkman digs it out. 6-4-3. The Astros get their second double play, and they maintain their 5-1 lead. state of Texas. If you would like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to Youth League baseball programs, visit www.ChevyTexasBaseball.com and have fun like those kids are today. The Astros have come from behind with 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. It's a Wednesday. They won 11 straight that day of the week, and probably Bob Howery is totally unaware of that as he comes in with a 1-3 record.
Yeah, let's hope so. Bob, the veteran, is making his 4th consecutive appearance against the Astros. He pitched twice in Chicago last week against the Stros, and then did not work over the weekend, and then worked in last night's ball game. Last night it was an inning of scoreless baseball. He had given up runs in his 3 previous appearances, including those 2 against the Astros at Wrigley. ERA way up there, over 7.
Jason Bourgeois leads it off. He entered the game in a double switch, staying in to play left field, hitting .231 with 1 RBI. Got rave reviews for his work last night. And he's been an impact player off the bench in several games this season with his base running skills. He stole his 7th base last night in 8 tries, and it helped to change the complexion of that 6-run 7th inning as he pinch ran for Humberto Quintero at first. 1 ball, 1 strike to Bourgeois. He's been taking some ground balls at his old position, second base, recently. Brian Schlitter in 1 inning allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. He had no walks, no strikeouts. Bourgeois swung at that one. 1-2 as he stole second last night with Brett Myers at the plate. That gave Myers then a chance to sacrifice him to third from where he scored the tying run on safety squeeze by Sanchez. And then the Astros later on erupted in a 6-run inning. 2-2, and the thing that he does that not a whole lot of players do is he can come off the bench and just immediately steal a base. It's hard sometimes to get into the tempo of a game after sitting for 7 innings or 8 innings.
I think he realizes that that is his ticket to staying in the big leagues. To be that kind of guy who can come off the bench, steal a bag for you when everybody in the ballpark knows you're thinking about stealing a bag.
What's intriguing to Brad Mills right now is the fact that he could have a lineup with Bourne and Bourgeois batting first and second in the order with all that speed at the top. Bourgeois takes, and it's a full count with Matt Lindstrom warming up in the Astros bullpen. Michael Bourne's on deck. Bob Howery working. That's to left center field, and the outfielders might have been caught shallow. It's extra bases. Bourgeois going to make it a triple as it rolls on the warning track. Dave Cochran's in the third and holds him there. A stand-up 3-base hit for Jason Bourgeois.
Any little misplay there, and Jason might have had a chance to circle the bases. As it is a leadoff triple, they were the other way and shallow for him, and he got extended through this pitch and drove it into that alley in left center. You see the big high finish imparting a lot of backspin on that ball and creating a lot of carry. Colvin was shallow and well into right center field, so he had a long way to go.
That's his first triple in the major leagues. Now Michael Bourne with the infield in. That's hit number 10 for Houston. Ball 1 to Michael. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Angel Sanchez is on deck. That's a tough pitch.
Kind of a changeup, maybe a split finger pitch. Howery, in his prime, was a strikeout pitcher. He'd throw 95 miles an hour and beat you up above the hands. What we've seen of him this year, he's not had that kind of life on his fastball. It's been high 80s, around 90.
2-1. Guess who's pitching tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays? A lefty who just called up from Las Vegas.
Do not know.
Brad Mills.
Oh, okay.
And he went to the University of Arizona. So there's been a little confusion down through the last few years because the Astros manager Brad Mills also went to that learned institution. And there's been confusion. Baseball cards. And he'll get a call to play in the alumni game and pitch in the game. And no, it's not me. Bouncer backhanded. Terrio. Nice play. Bourgeois couldn't come home on that one. Good pick by Terrio. 1 out.
Yeah, and with nobody out, you're going to be a little cautious down there, especially with a 4-run lead. 1 out. Might think about putting a contact play on here. Force the Cubs to make a play, especially with Bourgeois' speed.
This one gets away, but not very far. It might have hit the batter, Sanchez.
Yeah, it did. If it doesn't, it's going to be a run. Slider in the dirt and watch it kick up off the catcher. Then it gets a piece of Angel's leg. The umpire, too.
Yeah. Good Carapazza. He's going to need some treatment.
Going to need some time.
Yeah. Assistant athletic trainer Rex Jones out. And they're buying him some time.
So it wasn't Sanchez. It was Carapazza. Yeah. The umpire got hit by this ball.
There it went.
Any fun at all? Boy's going to bring out some water. Just going to talk it over for a while.
You see Carl Crawford 3 or 4 days ago? He got drilled on a throw at first base.
Well, anyway, you can visit the official online shop of the Astros at astros.com. There you will browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the astros.com shop, except no substitutes.
1 ball, no strikes. Sanchez back with that count, and he's 0 for 4 in the game with the infield in tight. Cincinnati 5, Milwaukee 2. The Reds just got 5 in the top of the 6th at Miller Park. Ripped by the shortstop Castro. 6-1 Astros. RBI single Sanchez. His 6th run batted in. Hit number 11 for Houston.
Good swing here by Sanchez. Pushes the hands back, loads up. That's how still the head is. Stays right on the ball. Great swing.
Five-run lead now, and it's Lance Berkman batting. He has 3 walks and a double. Strike 1. Minnesota 5, Kansas City 4. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Kansas City. Boston and the Angels are tied 2-2 in the bottom of the 2nd. Adrian Beltre hit his 17th for the Red Sox. Bill Hall, number 11. It's 0-2. All the other action is tonight in the major leagues. Cubs will be traveling to Colorado. The Astros will be resting at home tonight before entertaining Milwaukee Friday night with Roy Oswalt on the mound against Manny Parra. 1-2. Another shot for Roy of tying Joe Niekro's club record for victories in a career, 144.
You know, the Chronicle did a poll the other day, and they asked people to vote for their all-time Astros rotation, I guess it was.
Yes.
And Larry Dierker, I think, finished 7th in that voting.
7th?
Yeah. And I don't think any Astros starting rotation all time, Larry Dierker's got to be on.
Yes, absolutely. It's difficult, though, when you go through club history and look at numbers. Certainly Roy is very deserving to be in that rotation. Tough competition. Line shot left field. Well, it's been a good turnaround series for Lance Berkman. He's been on base all 5 times today.
Well, see, that's the difference when you're playing from in front. When you get into the late innings, you're facing. And I don't mean to be disparaging, but you're facing Schlitter and Howery as opposed to Marshall and Marmol. And all you have to do is look at the numbers and realize how much easier it is to hit these guys than those guys.
That's an excellent point. Hunter Pence is 2 for 4 with an RBI. Pedro Feliz is on deck. Pitcher spot due up next. And the Astros quite often have been facing those frontline relievers. They've been behind late in games. Haven't had too many of those pile-on wins. Just keep adding on runs. They're next to last in runs scored in the league. Other offensive numbers really not worth delving into, but the potential is there based on past performance to get much better if these guys return to form. 1-1. This has been kind of a return to form day. Berkman, 2 hits, 3 walks. Lee, a pair of 2-run homers. Pence, 2 for 4. There have not been that many games this year when those 3 have all lit it up. One and two.
No, there have not. And then the Brewers come to town over the weekend, and they score a lot of runs, but they give up a lot of runs too. Manny Parr's got a 5.33 ERA. He pitches the opener. Dave Bush with a 4.27 the Saturday game, and then Randy Wolf an ERA of 5.07 in the finale. So hopefully they'll be able to get some things done against that trio.
Looped out to right center field. That's in for a Pence hit. Sanchez coming home to make it 7-1. An RBI single. 3rd hit for Hunter. That's his 52nd run batted in. And Carlos Lee retired to the club lead.
Well, he deserved that one after the 2 outs he's made in this game. Balls that really well struck. This time a little flare falls in for him. Justice is served.
Richard Justice is eating a meal.
He's served. At least from Hunter's point of view, Justice is served. That's where they wanted it. They wanted to go up and in with a fastball. Howery got it there, and Hunter just got a piece of it and got lucky. Had to drop in shallow center.
Now Pedro Feliz is a pinch hitter for Brandon Lyon, who in 1 inning allowed 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Justin Berg warming up for the Cubs. Feliz looks at ball 1.
Pretty impressive show here in the late innings by the Astros. They had 1 hit through 5 innings. They now have 13. There will be a factoid on that. I'm sure Elias or somebody will do a set. The last team to have 1 hit through 5 innings and end up with at least 13 hits in a game was the 1957 Milwaukee Braves. Joe Adcock went 4 for 4 in that game.
Fernando Abad is now warming up alongside Matt Lindstrom in the Astros bullpen. Might be a day for Abad to make his major league debut, depending on what the score is after 8. 3-0 to Pedro Feliz as Howery struggles. For the 3rd straight inning, the Astros have 4 hits. Chris Johnson's on deck. 3-1. The hits have come from every spot in the lineup except the leadoff spot for the Astros, and Michael Bourne has walked twice. Jason Bourgeois tripled. He's batting in the 9th spot in the order. Feliz with a pop up behind the plate will stay alive at 3-2. See that story today in USA Today about the 1961 season?
I did not. I didn't see that paper today.
All right. Well, A lot of the folks from the Society for American Baseball Research, what they do is go back through old games and research to see if mistakes were made in statistics, and they found some from 1961. Foul back, and they affected the RBI leadership in the American League that season. Roger Maris won the RBI title in 1961 with 142, but they took one away from him for a July 5th, 1961 game. So now he didn't win the RBI crown. He shared it with Jim Gentile with 141. Little roller back to the mound, dropped by Howry. And he throws to get Feliz. 2 outs with the runners moving up.
Jim Gentile of the Baltimore Orioles, 46 home runs that year. Finished 3rd in the MVP voting. So that was probably behind Mantle and Maris, right?
Yeah.
Jim Gentile played in Houston a little bit, 65 and 66.
Sure did.
So congratulations to him for tying for the league in RBIs, even though he didn't know it.
Yeah, and Mantle was given one too many runs scored because of an official scorer's error in filling out a box score. So he had tied with Maris for the league title in runs scored. So Maris now won the runs scored leadership of that season. A little crazy to be coming along now with that change, but that's what happened. Chris Johnson's 1 for 4.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the numbers in baseball are so sacred for so many years, and now, especially the home run numbers, with all the steroid nonsense, like A-Rod here has been knocking on the door of 600 for quite some time now, and I don't get the sense that anybody cares, and that used to be a pretty big number.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's kind of where baseball's been cheated, because now people kind of cast a wary eye at all these home run numbers and don't have the impact that they used to have.
Johnson with a splintered bat. That's a foul ball. 1-2 to Chris. I think it's all a ruse to sell more record books, JD, because they all have to be revised now.
Because those record books are flying off the shelves.
I know you have to stand in line at your local bookstore to buy yours every year.
There is such a thing as a record book? I just thought that was a term. That's in the record book.
Well, you can see why people now just go online. They're going to be revising them all the time. But there's Retro Sheet. It is the all-volunteer organization to computerize play-by-play data from as many old games as possible. They go back and look at old games and see if there were mistakes made. So it's retrosheet.org. It's great material for those who research. You know, if you want to go back and see the box score of a game in 1942, that's great stuff.
Yeah, if you're reading a little story and you've come across some factoid about somebody doing something, you actually go to the box score and kind of break down the game.
Well, beats driving down to the public library. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chris Johnson's dad coaching first base for Boston. And they're tied 2-2 with the Angels in the top of the 3rd in Anaheim right now. Both those clubs contenders. CJ takes a look at it, and it's a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Angels have scratched Joel Pinheiro from his start this afternoon with a strained muscle. He'll be replaced with Scott Shields.
Angels 8.5 behind the Rangers. Howry's thrown 36 pitches in the inning.
He used to be able to attack with that fastball, throw by guys. That's no longer the case, and he's having a hard time coming up with plan B. Has to work awfully hard to get outs. Rangers the most comfortable lead in all of baseball, that 8.5 game cushion. The Angels and the A's.
That's ball 4 in the dirt, and now Berkman comes home, scoring on a wild pitch. (8-1) Astros as Berkman scores for the third straight time.
And Luke bounces out of the Cubs dugout. He's going to make a move. Feel for Bobby Howard, a veteran pitcher who's had a nice career, and as I said, used to be able to just challenge it with that 85 or 95 mile an hour heater, and just doesn't have it anymore.
8-1 Houston. Back in a moment. Here to Jeff Bagwell's liking with 13 hits. And our Ford League leaders will show you who's hot in the major leagues right now. Buster Posey's on a 20-game hitting streak. He's hitting .449 in July. A-Rod's driven in 27 runs this month. Joe Mauer's hitting it up as well. Well played, Mauer, with the 9 RBIs. And Brett Myers in July, 3-0. Matt Garza with the no-hitter on Monday.
Yeah, I looked at Myers' month before the ballgame today. I think, hey, maybe he's got a shot to be pitcher of the month. But there's 4 or 5 National League starting pitchers with the ERAs below 1 so far this month.
Ooh.
Here comes Mr. Berg for the 22nd time, trying to get this final out in the 8th inning. It's been a long 8th inning as the Astros have put 3 on the board and they're looking for more.
Jason Castro has 2 of their 13 hits in his 4 at-bats. He's the 8th man to bat. Fouls it away, strike 1.
Yeah, Berg, a tough guy for a left-handed hitter to pull when he's got command of his fastball because he gets real good movement running down and away. Got that Rick Aguilera beard working.
Yeah, he does. Castro pitches up a little bit, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 8 Astros batted in the 6th inning, 7 in the 7th. Now Castro's number 8 here in the 8th. Jeff Bagwell, Brad Mills and company wouldn't mind some longer games if they go this way. Astros have had a lot of quick games this year. 1-2 the count. Win today gives the Astros a 6-6 record since the All-Star break. And they would be 11-11 for the month of July. Foul back. They certainly got off to that rough start, but since the horrendous month of May, they've been about a .500 team. 9-20 in May, and that's the worst month in Astros club history. Castro looks at it. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jason. Ed Wade going to some recent articles hoping the Astros can sign their number 1 draft choice from this year, Delino DeShields Jr. as Castro signed in the 08 season. Got started on his professional career, and that allowed him to move quickly through the minor leagues and come up in 2 years. 3-2 now.
So it's a high school player, and the deadline to sign the draft picks is August 15th, I believe. You know that, Brian?
I think so, 15th or 16th. 3-2 pitch, bounce to second. Terrio to Baker, and the Astros sent 8 to the plate in the 8th inning. Another 3-run frame on 4 hits. They lead 2. They lead it 8-1. All on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150 and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Here at Minute Maid Park, it's 8-1. The Astros lead it, and we have a major league debut of 24-year-old lefty Fernando Abad from the Dominican Republic. He was born in La Romana. He's jumping up from Double-A Corpus Christi. That has not been done all that often in the Astros organization in recent years. He was 4-3 there with a 2.50 ERA.
Well, and when you ask people in the organization about Fernando, they say, well, he's a strike thrower. Not going to overpower you, but he throws a lot of strikes, has a real good idea of what he's trying to do out there in the mound, and the numbers back that up for sure. 4-3, 2.50 ERA, but 33 strikeouts, just 6 walks in 39 2/3 innings. Very impressive. I imagine that heart's pumping pretty hard right about now. He stands on a big league mound for the first time.
Yeah, takes an extra moment here to reflect. All 6 Cubs hits have come from the top 3 in their lineup. They have 6 singles in this game. And now you see the background of Fernando, signed as a 16-year-old. 31-26 in the minors. First time above Double-A. First pitch is to Fukudome, and it is ball 1.
Last year, we split the year between Class A Lancaster in the California League and Corpus Christi.
He's been known as a strike thrower. That is a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. Changeup is a very good pitch for him. He goes crossfire sometimes. Drops in a breaking ball, 1-2 to Fukudome. A good opportunity to work him in with a 7-run lead. And with backup support if needed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 lefties now in the Astros bullpen. We have not seen that often down through the years.
Oh, I can't remember ever seeing it.
It might be a first.
Not with any regularity anyway.
Right.
No guarantee this is going to be the norm.
He misses, and it's 3-2. Astros with a win today would make this the 4th consecutive series win over the Cubs this season. Their record would be 8-4 against Chicago if they nail this one down. Still a full count. Brewers coming up next, starting Friday night. The Astros are 3-3 against Milwaukee. And that's ball 4.
Ironic, but not totally unexpected. A young guy, a little nervous, amped up, overthrowing maybe a little bit, and misfiring some. And of course, Fukudome, a guy who's always shown the ability to draw a walk.
Jeff Baker next, 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts, and he was thrown out trying to bunt his way on. Fly ball hits for Hunter Pence in right. 1 out for Fernando Abad.
Yeah, last year, Fernando, in 96 innings of work, struck out 92, walked just 11.
Those are admirable numbers. This is his 8th year in the Astros minor league system. He spent 4 years in the Dominican Summer League and was signed out of the Astros Dominican Academy in 2002. Coy Hill, the switch hitter, batting right this time. Looks at ball 1. He has whiffed all 3 times, batting left. And there are visas which are required for foreign-born players to come to the United States and play. Each organization is allowed a certain number of visas. Diving play gets away from Johnson, though, and everybody's safe. Johnson launched his body towards second. It's an infield single. He stopped it from going into left, but he wanted to make a throw, and the ball trickled away from him. A hit for Hill.
Hill with a smile on his face because he punched out his first 3 times up. If Chris gets it right there when he reaches for it with a bare hand, he's still going to have a play.
Pinch hitter Alfonso Soriano comes up. Justin Berg in 1/3 of an inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Bob Howry 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. 2 on, 1 out for Abad facing Soriano. And his heart's got to be pumping a little bit right now, facing his countryman and a guy who's been a power hitter down through the years.
Yeah, who knows? These guys may have faced each other in winter ball, maybe been teammates in winter ball. My apologies, Vic. That was inside.
Soriano puts it out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. So what will happen is with those visas, an organization will keep a guy like Abad, who's 16 years old, when he signs in the Dominican Republic and have him play in the academy and play other teams' academy clubs until they feel he's ready to come to the United States and use up one of those valuable visa slots. Two and 1. That's a long amount of time spent in the minor leagues, 8 years. Sometimes you got to be wondering if you're ever going to see a major league field as Abad is today.
Well, you know, obviously different for a kid who signs at the age of 16 than a guy that comes out of college. If you're sent out of college and you play 8 years in the minor leagues, and chances that you're going to have a lengthy major league career are pretty slim. But this kid's still just 24 years of age. There's a chance to stick around a while.
Fields the grounder, throws to second, gets the force out there. Hernandez not in time on the relay for a double play. They get out number 2. Fukudome to third, and Soriano safe at first.
Softly hit. Abad has to come off the mound and come and get it. And Soriano hustling down the line, able to beat the double play. He's finally here in the Dominican Summer League. He was 5-2 with a 1.32 ERA, so he earned that visa.
Sure did.
Time to go stateside with those numbers.
Terrio with 3 hits looked at ball 1. Cincinnati 5, Milwaukee 2. They're in the top of the 8th at Miller Park. It's 2-0. Travis Wood started for the Reds. Gave up 2 runs in 5 innings today. Johnson to his left. Over to Buckman. A nice major league debut for Fernando Abad. Getting the final 3 outs in this 8-1 Astros win. And what a finish for the Astros hitters, JD, with 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and 3 in the 8th.
Yeah, just similar to last night, the 1 inning last night, but tonight 3-2, then 3 after being 1 hit through 5 innings in support of Bud Norris, who picks up his 3rd W.
8-1 the final today.